Welcome to Life at Sunny Lee, and it has been another busy week. It's October the 27th, I think, and we have been busy this week. Started out with Saturday. We started working on rearranging the outside garden. Hello, sweetie. Come to see me? Okay. Such a sweet little boy. Now, if you remember correctly, this garden was all cement block raised beds. And on Saturday, he took all of the block, which you see quite a few block. That's just one pile. There's another pile of them. He took all those blocks up. Well, I started putting together the metal beds. And then the rest of the week, Sunday, we went to church Sunday, then Sunday afternoon through Wednesday, he leveled off the beds and put them into the ground. Now you'll notice that they're buried on one end and high on the other end. That's because we are on a hillside. And my original garden, I just put the blocks on top, and I was constantly fighting the rain. I'd sow the garden, it would rain, and all the seeds would go out downhill, and I have to pick up the seedlings and move them back into a straight line. So hopefully with them being leveled now, I won't have to do that. I can just plant them, water them, and leave them. So we got all these done. We've got 2 more beds that are supposed to be here sometime today that we'll be putting into this spot. And the rest of these beds, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them, we're going to just leave. We're not going to use them right now, I don't think. We probably will be using this bed because I had to transplant a lot of the strawberries from those 2 beds so we could dig around and level them. And we're going to fill them with dirt, so we just transplanted them over to here. So we'll probably leave them here at least until the winter, throughout the winter, and maybe this spring transplant them back in there. Depends on what the weather does as to whether I move them again. But these were first-year plants, and I'm not for sure if I want to transplant them twice in 1 year or 3 times in 1 year. So we may just leave these for right now. That bed's, when they're done, they're going to be done, I think. I've got strawberries in this bed that never did do well. So when I fill up the other beds, I will transplant what's left. And this doesn't look like there's many. 1, 2, 3, maybe 5 or 6 at the most. This bed has some chives in it, which I'll leave until spring, and then I'll transplant them. And at that point, these beds will be gone, and I'm thinking about making a compost bin in this area here out of some of those blocks. I also cleared off the potato patch. It will not be a potato patch anymore. The potatoes have not done well in the last 2 years in this area, so I'm going to put them into one of those new raised beds next year. My sweet potatoes did great in the raised beds, so we're going to try that. The other thing we did, hello, Princess. We leveled out the tomato. The beds are going to be for the tomato beds. And on Thursday and Friday, I took started taking the plastic up. You notice I've not got very far because of the wind. I had to throw the hose over it to keep the wind from blowing it. So hopefully the wind will calm down this afternoon. Well, by Thursday evening, the wind had died down enough that I could get the black plastic off. And I got the tiller out and tilled up the melon patch. I was going to put some fertilizer on it, but the wind hadn't died down that much. And I didn't want to fertilize myself and everything else, just this little patch. So I decided to hold off on that. This land had not had anything done with it for about 3 years. And it had melons in it. And melons are pretty heavy feeders at times, especially after 3 years. So I wanted to add some fertilizer to it. Wanted to level it off a little bit because you can tell it's kind of wavy up and down. And wanted the sun to beat on it for a little bit. So I will get out here and rake it and put some fertilizer on, and then put the plastic back over it, and it'll be ready for this spring. For when I come out with the little seedlings, I can just pop them in the hose and be done with it. I am going to use some of those cement blocks to make a border around it, and that way I can hopefully keep the vines inside the cement blocks instead of having them go all over the place. So I got that done. And on Friday morning we had to get up early because my husband had to get some blood work done for his regular physical. So we were up early on Friday and waiting on the other 2 beds to arrive. And he's working on his shed. One thing this week, our middle son came home last Saturday, and he's been home all week, which has been lots of fun. He wanted to try some different places to eat that we haven't eaten before, so I always enjoy going and doing things with him. So I'm very happy that he was home for the week. We also got the siding for the shed front, so we got busy painting it, and so we can put it up. And the garage door is supposed to be here next week. So that has been our week. It's been a very busy one. So hope you have stayed busy. Next week's going to be just as busy. I got more beds arrive. Well, I got the beds arriving this afternoon, so we'll have to level those up. And then I've got to call and make an appointment to get soil here. And we have a funeral to go to. Not looking forward to that. And some other things. It's going to be a busy week, so stay tuned to next week. Remember, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, everybody. God bless.